Pleasant good day to each and every one of you guys. Today, we're going to talk about solutions to problems with broken systems. And these broken systems, by the way, are not just unique to the United States of America, they're also unique to other countries of the world: UK, Germany, France, even my country. So, we'll talk about it. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget you can like, share, subscribe. You can donate via PayPal. The link is in the description. I am Christ, I am disciple, and we're going to talk on this topic that I think is essential. All right, about representation, etc. So the first thing I'm going to do, though, is let you know that this stream is sponsored by LIVE Products. There are two lines that the LIVE has: a cleaning product line and a natural fruit juice line. The natural fruit juices that we have here available to you are, from left to right: fruit punch, lime, grapefruit, sorrel, orange, and more. And in terms of the cleaning line, the cleanup line, we have here all-purpose cleaner, also known as disinfectant. We have a dishwashing liquid, as well as we have here liquid detergent and fabric softener for your clothes. LIVE. Live now. We're live now. Let's talk about the solution. It won't take too long. So the United States of America has a policy, a foreign policy right now that has to do with Greater Israel being a major goal. That is to say, the expansion of the state of Israel, eroding the states of Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Jordan, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. This is what Greater Israel is. And what you're seeing this present government doing, United States of America, both, basically all of them, that is Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Secretary General of the United States of America, they're all really backing Israel to expand itself and become Greater Israel, whether you like it or not. It doesn't matter what their rhetoric says. You watch their policy, you watch the fact that they're harming Israel to do this. Now, a lot of governments today are not doing what the people want them to do. The focus, 68% of the public in the United States of America would want a ceasefire. They would want a lot of the monies that are being given to the military-industrial complex instead to be circulated amongst the people. There is a record amount of homelessness now in the United States of America because a lot of people cannot afford to rent, or they cannot afford to hold on to their housing. And housing is being bought up by certain Wall Street companies, which are also involved in the military-industrial complex. And so small selected people are profiting off of wars. A small select set of people are profiting tremendously off of the really ruined economy that's happening in the United States of America. As such, representation for your values, for what you want as an American citizen, that's not happening. What we're seeing is the federal government going rogue on you and doing things that you do not want. The American people want a ceasefire. The American people want peace. The American people want jobs, home security. They want, more income to be able to deal with their everyday needs. The state of the United States of America is in a very poor state in many, many, many respects. And these issues are not being addressed at all. And instead, what has taken priority over the hurricane victims, for example, has been the war of Israel, killing and maiming and murdering other people abroad. And usually these people, most of the people who are being maimed and murdered are not soldiers. They're not military people. They are civilians like you and I. a lot of times in these wars, the major amount of casualties that happen in these wars are civilians. This is why nobody wants war. Okay, so what's the solution to the problem? Well, the major solution to this problem is one that everybody keeps on overlooking, and it's really the obvious solution. You need to find an anti-war candidate who is also anti-genocidal, and you also need to find a candidate to back who has a structure in place, that is, they have a party that can actually win elections in given states and therefore be represented in the federal government. The federal government has been bought. It's corrupted. And some state governments are bought as well. And they're bought by the lobbyists, and they're bought by the big corporations in Wall Street, which includes the military-industrial complex, which is part of Wall Street as well. Because the military-industrial complex, this is weird, but the national military, okay, the major problem here is what we call contractors. Okay, the contractors are the ones that supply the weaponry. The contractors are the ones that finance and supply wars, the munitions, the etc. So private companies, it's in their best interest, if they're part of the military complex, to make money off of supplying weaponry and arms and stuff like that. Just like how the NRA supplies weapons and guns and stuff, but they do it for civilians. But there's the contractors who are military who supply to the military. Now, why this is very important for you guys to understand is because anytime you hear people in Congress or the Senate talking about war, it's because they're getting paid. They're being bribed, legally bribed by lobbyists to say what they're saying, because their pockets get enriched if they can persuade Congress to go in a particular direction. Furthermore, now it's known by everyone that certain people who are elected to Congress are elected by these very same lobby groups, these very same corporations who benefit from them and are able to carry out their policies. They even write their own policies. It's crazy. They write policies out for these elected officials to speak in Congress about. That's how crazy it is. Some of these lobbyists or these special interest groups even write news articles for news outlets to do. That's how crazy it has gotten. The only way that can be crushed is by someone outside of that sphere coming into that sphere and setting things straight. So here's the thing that nobody's talking about, and you guys need to spread the word and pay attention to it. We hear in mainstream media that third-party candidates like Jill Stein, Cornel West, Ralph Nader, that they take votes away from, let's say, Democrats or Republicans candidates. But here's the major kicker. When we look at the two candidates today, they represent a very cold system. And why we know this is because of how they're treating poor people in Palestine right now. And we know the story very well, what's happening with these people. And they're not there to help them. No, they're there to eliminate them. They are financing the IDF. They're providing weaponry, whatever the IDF needs, to obliterate the Palestinians. And we're also seeing that they're hell-bent on doing that over taking care of their own citizens in the United States of America who need relief from flooding and hurricane disasters. People have died. The focus and the allocation of monies is not for that. It is an allocation of monies to commit genocide, to commit murder. So both candidates, who are supposedly from these major parties, the RNC and the DNC, advocate that Israel be armed in contravention with the US's own legal system. Right? There is a law on the books, the Leahy law, that the United States of America is in complete violation of at this present point in time. Because the International Criminal Court has already said that that brutal occupation Israel has is supposed to end, not just in the West Bank, but also in Gaza. Now, therefore, how can you, as a citizen of the United States of America, take action? And I still haven't gotten to the point I'm supposed to make, but now I'm going to do it. So everyone talks about how, these third parties, whether it's Cornel West, whether it's Jill Stein and the Green Party, whether it's Ralph Nader and the Green Party, take votes away from the DNC or the RNC, whatever. But what they don't tell you is how these parties try to secure their votes by stealing, maligning, and rigging the allowance of these third parties being on ballots. In other words, let me see if I can make this clear to you. If every single supporter, let's say Democratic, okay, let's just go with Democratic, but even though I must admit the Republicans, Jill Stein right now and Bush Ware, are currently pulling away Trump supporters from Donald Trump to support Jill Stein. The reason that is happening right now is because a lot of those supporters of Donald Trump are not supporting his policy of arming Israel and the genocide. So they have moved away from Donald Trump immediately because some of them are directly related to that. And they have gone with Jill Stein. See, to beat Donald Trump, you have to be diametrically opposed to almost everything he says. If there's not somebody who's diametrically opposed to him when it comes to Israel and Palestine, which is a horrific thing that's happening in the world today, and the whole world's seeing it, and they're saying it's a horrific thing, and they're frowning upon it. If you can't even separate yourself from Donald Trump that way, then obviously he's going to win. He's going to beat you. Because Donald Trump actually policy-wise, and even from his past history, has proven that he has not been a guy who's been fueling wars. He hasn't started any new wars. So he wins on that. Hands down. Kamala can't beat Donald Trump on that. Biden can't beat Trump on that. Where he loses is where he's saying he's in fervent support of Israel finishing off the Palestinians, in which case he's making a tremendous mistake by doing that, which means the candidate that all Democrats should be voting for this election, and they better, is Jill Stein. The solution to the problem is Jill Stein or Cornel West, but Cornel West doesn't have a party behind him. But if you vote for Jill Stein or you vote for Cornel West, I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're Democrat, just on the basis of humanity and decency, you're going to make one of those two guys win the election. It's that simple. If you were somebody who was a Democrat and you realize this is nonsense, what's going on? There's no way the fabric of my being, what I know about democracy, what I know about being a Democrat, I can support a candidate, even though they are Democrat, who is not trying in any way, shape, or form to stop arming Israel to kill other people. And you know what the direction this is going. I'm going to vote for a third party candidate because Donald Trump is not the answer. If you do that, you change this elections forever. You change everything because you have the power to do that. As much as they have lobbyists and groups and corporations and all that bullshit, you have the power to change, to bring somebody brand new to the table. And you can do it state by state. Now, Cornel West doesn't have a whole bunch of states he's in. But for those of you who are in wherever you are, where Cornel West is, you decide, I'm going to elect Cornel West because he's anti-genocide, go for it. If in the other states you want to vote for Jill Stein, she's the third party candidate. She's the third party candidate, and I think 47 of the 50 states. And even though she's not written on a ballot in the 50 in those other 3 states, you can still write her name in as you're voting. Now, here's the thing, though. My point is this. You can vote for Jill Stein in the remaining states where Cornel West is not present. If you like Cornel West, you're going for him, but in a protest vote. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican. It doesn't matter what you are. Because Jill Stein and Cornel West, and I think there's a libertarian candidate. I think the libertarian candidate as well is anti-genocide. Those 3 candidates are anti-genocide. They're anti what's going on in the Middle East. And those are the candidates you should choose. Period. Don't choose anybody else, because the other candidates fail. The other candidates have proven to us that big business is running America. And this is not just America. Like I said before, big business is also running Europe. It's also running my country. And you have to vote for a third-party candidate. Find that third-party candidate and vote for them this election. All the people who they say, oh, this person's going to vote for Donald Trump this year. No, don't vote for Donald Trump this year. Vote for a third-party candidate. It's a protest vote. It's called a protest vote. And all that has to happen is just a decent amount of Americans need to vote for a third party. I don't care what third party you vote for. Just vote for a third party as a protest vote for what's going on. It throws everything upside down. Everything. And that's the solution, ladies and gentlemen. If you do not like big corporations running America, if you do not like the federal government running America, the federal government has too much power, and you think the individual states should have power. If you do not like how our politicians are being bribed by lobbyists, are being bribed by big corporations, and they're not accountable anymore to you, but they're accountable to corporations, this is your chance, America, to vote for third parties. Make it your duty to vote for a third party. You may have been a lifelong Democrat or a lifelong Republican. You may be even a lifelong Trumper. But make it your duty this election to change the demographic and the landscape of politics by voting third party. I don't care who you vote for third party. It could be the Libertarian. It could be the 2 progressives. I don't care. Vote third party, because the third party candidates are not in the pockets of corporations. You get them out. You kick them out the business. It's up to you. You, the people, the citizens of America. You know I'm voting third party in my country. I screw those 2 other parties. I'm going to do the same. And why that's important for you guys to do, you have third parties available. Thank God. They didn't boot out all of them. You have Cornel West still sticking with it. You got Jill Stein and Butch Weir. And you got the Libertarian. I forgot what his name is. Listen to me carefully. You check those guys. They're all anti-genocide. See whose values best align with you and then vote for them. Vote for them. That's what I want you to do. If you're an American, a decent American person who realizes you're not seeing options that represent you, your humanity, who you are, then vote for a third party. Look into it. And this year, let it be the year of the third party, the rise of third parties. That's what you need to do. Spread this message to as many people as you can. That's the solution. Let them know that none of these big parties with big business own you. And that big business and big campaigns and smear campaigns and all that bullshit won't work. You got a brain and you choose what's best aligned with you. And so far, the 2 big parties that are there don't align with you because they don't care about humanity. Period. Both of them. And it's exposed by their attitude of Israel to the Palestinians who are being murdered right now. They're being murdered. And it's not military. It's the civilians being murdered. Israel has been specifically targeting and punishing and killing civilians, whether it's in Lebanon or it's in Gaza or in the West Bank. And it's been evil. And we've seen it with the Ku Klux Klan. We've seen it with the Nazis. We've seen it with the Rwandan incident, with what happened is happening in Somalia, what's happening in the Congo. We've seen it. We know what it looks like. We've seen it also in Armenia. We've seen it in Yugoslavia. We've seen it enough. Enough is enough. So, what America needs is a regime change, but not a regime change where you go back to the same old assholes who will sell your whole country and your souls to corporations. We need a change in leadership, a clean sweep, a clean slate to start over. So, for that to happen, it's important that you guys vote third party this year. I don't care who you vote for third party. Make it your business. You're Republican? Vote third party. There's a libertarian there. You're Democratic? Vote progressive. There are two progressives there. But don't waste your time because they're not going to represent you. They don't care about you voting for these big, fat, checked, corporate-backed parties. Don't do it. Explore something new. We need a change. And the only way it's going to start is in the voting booth. Let them know. Let them feel what we're talking about. Donald Trump can't win the election if you're voting third parties only. That is, if you're Democrat and you vote third party, if you're Republican and you vote third party, he can't win. That's the solution. We need to go into the brave new world with a brave new face. That's the solution. It's staring you right in your face. Look at your options in terms of third parties and vote for them. And don't vote for the established order because it's not going anywhere. It's going to annihilate you and I. We can't do the same thing and expect different results. We try something new. I'm Christ, I am disciple. Peace.